What's going on?
Generally, we start at 10 a.m.
Oh, I know.
We're running a little bit behind. We're new to this. I want to give my son Tyler's major props over here for pulling us out of this production nightmare that we had going on. Kudos to you, Tyler. Anthony off screen. We're in Austin today.
Yeah, beautiful Austin. College game day, baby, is tomorrow. How exciting.
It's here, man. It's here. I'm starting to see the Bama fans roll into town. Obviously, this big college town, big college game. We want to give a shout out. JR picked up the phone. I think it was even as recent as Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Called around the Tavern here at Lamar and 12th Street. Said, yes, come on in. Now, we've been here since 9:30, had technical difficulties. Graciously, they've allowed us to stay here. So if you get a chance to visit the Tavern when you're in town, my attorney said when he was in law school here, he stayed here all the time. This is a place to be. You can't see it from the back, but this is actually Pat Mahomes, our Chiefs bar. Big mural of Patrick over there, Chiefs Kingdom. They're also a soccer bar, right? So I'm glad to be here. We got to town. We drove in last night, stayed downtown. We got a pretty big guest as far as Bama goes coming on later. For those of you that know and remember Blake Sims, and you should, the guy was a stud.
Yeah.
Came Blake up just short of a natty as the QB with them, but I believe he still holds a single game passing record. It's like astronomical.
Yeah,
how do you know Blake?
Yeah, so Blake and I in his last couple of years of professional football, we met in Spokane in the IFL, the Indoor Football League, and he was our backup quarterback at the start of the year because of injuries and things like that. He stepped into that big role, and he's just like, if you get a chance to meet Blake is one of those people that has so much personality and such a big heart. Like, he really controls a locker room. And if you look at his resume over at Alabama, that was the kind of guy he was. He is a big locker room cat, a big name for Alabama, and true Alabama fans will know exactly who this guy is right here. Very special, very thankful to get him on the podcast. He just retired. So his football career is finished. He is done.
August of 2022, he said, I'm done.
Yeah. He finished out his season with the Frisco Fighters. Man, hell of a quarterback. One of my favorite people I've ever gotten a chance to play for. And, I can't wait to get him on. Like Randall was saying, we're in the Tavern. It's a 100-year-old bar. Awesome place right down here in Austin. We got college game day. People are trickling in. It's going to be crazy. We're right down here off 6th Street at the hotel, so we're going to come out here and bang out some content. We've got a lot of man-on-the-street type of stuff we're going to do tonight, and that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of hype around this game.
JR, man, we're excited.
Yeah.
You could have cut the tension with a knife in this room earlier between all of us because of the technical difficulties.
That's how it goes,
But
man.
You know what?
We're here.
It calluses us up, makes us ready for the future when we've got to actually put all this stuff on a plane instead of the back of my car. Mm-hmm. Got a few friends watching. If you just joined in, Blake Sims, former Bama quarterback's coming on. But man, feel the
dude. Yeah, feel it. It's electricity.
I'm still feeling it from last night.
I know that everyone is saying that Alabama is going to blow Texas out, and I'm one of those people probably. But we haven't had a Texas Alabama football game in over
2010
now. Yeah, 2010, and it wasn't like the Tide went and just ran them over. They lost that game. So
well, Texas lost that national title.
Yeah, the national
but
title.
with a backup quarterback that came in, Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah,
he almost brought him back and won. So it's been 10 years. Texas has not done very well in that decade since
Coach got coaching changes.
Bama, however, has built an absolute dynasty. Saban's first national title, I hate to say, was against the Longhorns, and he never freaking looked back. Right?
Yeah, I mean. Like I said, this atmosphere is going to be second to none anyways, regardless of whatever. I mean, it's college game day. It's right. In Austin, Texas.
That's right. Listen, let's don't delay it any longer. Let's get Blake Sims now live. I'll it's starting to get a little busy up here.
Let's see. Here we go.
He already has the link, right? Just shoot him a text.
Yep.
While JR's doing that, let's talk about, it was a big deal last night seeing the game. I bet on the Rams. Money line looked decent the first half.
Yeah,
did not look decent the second half. Absolutely ass whipped them.
Yeah, a lot of times, people who have the team that has the most turnovers is the team that's going to lose the game.
That's the way it works.
But the Bills did have one more turn. I believe they had 4, and the Rams had 3. Early on, that second quarter was messy, man. I mean, it was back and forth, just losing balls. We had. Bad throws or someone takes a ball out of someone's hand and you're sitting there, you blink and it's another change of possession. You're like, holy cow, what's going on?
It was a weird dynamic because 90% of America, including probably the pastor at every church of our viewers, took the over.
Oh, yeah.
And every time they got close to scoring in that first half, there's a turnover.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying there's.
I got Josh Allen on my fantasy. I'm not trying to,
I got murdered. He was opposite me. The guy had him in Diggs. But a good game last night if you're a Bills fan. Good start to the season. I don't think it's actual, telling us exactly what the Bills are yet or what the Rams are. It's the first game.
First game of the year.
Bills look pretty good. You don't want to peak too early.
Yeah, we got Blake here on the stream. We'll bring him in. What's going on, Six?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Blake Sims, former Alabama quarterback, national champion. Brother, man, I got a chance to play with you. Yeah, 2-time. I got a chance to play with you. You're one of my favorite people on the entire planet. I love you, and I love your family. What's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on the show, baby. It's good to see you. Yeah, man, we just had a good season. We didn't finish how we wanted to, but it's good that I got a chance to play with you my last season.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. So this is it for you, though. Your football is done for you, and as a player.
Yeah, as a player, I'm done playing ball. I'm gonna give my knowledge and my IQ to the youth, man. Give my talent to the youth and give back to the Lord.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. So we're here. We're here in Austin, downtown Austin. We got college game day going on tomorrow. Yeah. Texas, Alabama, man. Talk to us.
Man, it's exciting. Last time I seen Texas, Alabama play each other was when it was a national championship, And quick little story. Once Alabama landed back in Tuscaloosa, I had called Nick Saban and told him that I wanted to decommitted and I was signed to Lane Kiffin.
Oh man!
So that's a little, that's the other story that a lot of people doesn't know. So every time I think about this game happening Saturday, that's all I think about. Like last time we played Texas, that's when we won our first national championship in Saban's area, but at the same time, that's my little story between me and Saban. I think it's going to be very live. I think it's good for, the NCAA and also the Texas fans. But, Alabama, we're going to come in and we're going to handle business. We're going to handle business, baby. We ain't taking no.
JR, I gotta ask a question. Hey, like it's Randall. I heard a lot about you. Glad to have you on. You didn't finish up on that story. What did Saban say when you said, "I'm out"?
he
Hang up
told
on
me,
you?
man.
Yeah, prank
Yeah,
call.
nah. He was just like, Blake. He was like, I want to enjoy this win. How about we? He's like, how about you just take a second to think about it and think about the decision that you're making. Come to Tuscaloosa and let's talk in person. Let's see what we think. And once I got to Tuscaloosa, he was like, look, he was like, I don't care what you do. If you go somewhere, all we're gonna do is beat you every year. If you come here, you can win some national championships. And that's exactly what happened. We won natties.
Oh, I believe that, man. The rest is history. I bet that one conversation, you're like, oh, yep, yeah, for sure. I'm heading to Tuscaloosa.
Well, let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you this:
knew it.
you were part of two titles, right?
Yes, sir.
So how soon after you win a national title and you get back to campus, how soon? How many days? A day or two? Does Saban back on business? Like that's in the past. We're going forward for the next one. Is it pretty quickly?
Oh yeah, we used to play the national championship game and get like a week or two off. Coach Saban ain't taking no time off. He's seeing where he needs to plug in people and see what is going on. Coach Saban's always a week ahead of everybody. He's always prepared. His mind is always working. So Coach Saban don't take no time off.
Nice. You have. So, what do you think about that Alabama Utah State game, man? What were your initial thoughts? I mean, the only crack in the shield or the crack in the armor I saw was like a blocked kick, blocked punt or something like that. And other
Yeah,
than that, it was just. But it was late in the game, and I'm sure they had already pulled most of their starters out at some point in time. So, but still, besides that, man, they looked freaking dominant up front, man. Like, obviously, it's a team like Utah State, but Utah State isn't a bottom of the barrel Mountain West school. They're usually one of the people that are up there, and to just go out there and goose egg somebody, like, I mean, it's just. What do you think? Like, do you think this is like the right step in the right direction moving forward into this game? Like, what are your ups, man? What are you seeing?
after watching the game, I felt I had a smile on my face. Uh, a lot of people don't take when high teams like Alabama play small teams like that. We approach them games very different than other universities because we're worried about the small things. What small things that we need to achieve in this game to help us be prepared for the next game or any hard game that will come in the near future, And I like everything we
Some
said. I like
reason
how
I'm
I
I think
getting
we're
brought
having some technical difficulty.
we good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Blake?
Yeah, I hear you now. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
sorry. Yeah, for some reason I think yeah, I can. For some reason I think the Wi-Fi cut out. So what were you saying right there? What were you taking on right there with the team?
Yeah, I was just saying that like at Alabama, we approach games like that different. We worry about the small things. We got a phrase that we go by: see a little, see a lot, see nothing. So like we focus on the small things so we can, so when we come into the big games in the future, we make sure we going to nip them small things in the bud so we can perform at a high level and not really worry about the scoreboard and worry about our performance more. I'm losing. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I can hear
You was
you.
moving a little slow.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi over here, but yeah, man, I've heard you say a few, your Alabama lingo sticks in the locker room. That's definitely helped us a lot. The things that you guys practice and preach. So, you guys aren't worried about the hype surrounding games, and especially with, a college game day situation like this. This is just another week for Nick Saban and crew.
Yeah,
This is
it's
that
all
basically
about
the overall.
every game is a lesson, and every game we're prepared to get prepared to win for the future for when the big games come. The most thing I know Coach Saban's trying to get them guys to do is what we call rat poison. We're not really worried about what the media is saying. We're just worried about what's going on in our locker room and at the University of Alabama.
I feel that. Nice.
Yeah, I like that. I liked what you said about hey, you get a week or two off, after you won a couple national titles. It's back to work, man, and that's why he's been so successful. What do you think the score is going to be? Give us your prediction.
Yeah, I seen the quarterback say he's gonna put up about 50 on us, man. I think he's gonna get a little welcome to college football. I think Alabama's gonna. I give Terry, I love Sarkisian, man. So I'm gonna give him 14. I'm gonna give him at least 14 just because I love Sarkisian, and so I'm gonna go 55-14, man. 55-14. Can you hear me? Yo. I think it's me. Yo. Yeah, I think
Nah.
my
Go
Wi-Fi.
to full screen, Tyler, and
That's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think it's mine, big dog.
Oh, you think it's yours?
I mean, I
It
don't
very
know.
well.
I see I got full bars. I got full bars in my Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
but
Well, I got Alabama by 30 points at least. Blake, I really do appreciate you coming on. I know it's going to be difficult for us to kind of keep pushing with the Wi-Fi. So if I can get one last, you can still hear me?
yeah, he.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think about Bryce Young? From one quarterback analysis to the other, what do you think about him?
I think
What do you
he's a
think?
great guy,
What's production?
man. I think he's gonna obviously be in the Heisman run, and hopefully he can win it back to back to be the first to do it. And I just appreciate the way he carries the name of the University of Alabama, man. The most thing that most impressive that impressed me the most about him is just poise in that pocket. I haven't seen a quarterback with that poise in the pocket at that age that he is, and at the high level that he's playing. You don't see that a lot, so it's good to see it. And I've been using him a lot while I'm coaching my quarterbacks.
and
I'm sorry, say it again.
how involved are you still with the Alabama program? Like you pull up in the parking lot, a guy with your pedigree. I'm assuming you can go anywhere you want on campus. Do they ever have you come in and talk to any of the guys? Is that how Saban does it at all? Anybody that was a known player or a Bama guy comes back and talks to the young guys?
Oh yes, sir. I still got a good relationship with Coach Saban. I have his phone number. He has to keep his line open for any of his players, not just me. Anytime we show up in Tuscaloosa, we all go speak to him because we feel like we show up in Tuscaloosa and don't go speak to Coach Saban. It's kind of disrespectful because it's of the respect that we have for him. And Coach Saban's a great guy, man. He cares about his players that are present and from the past. He's always there for us. And every time I pull up, man, it's always good. They show me, they remind me that I'm always going to be family. The fans are great. The university is just great.
I want to read a comment to you. It's funny. A really good friend of mine, Anthony Stone, commonly known as Stump. He's a big Aggie. He said, "I really love the prediction from Mr. Sims. No one hates Texas more than A&M, right?"
No, most definitely. Most definitely. I think Saturday will probably be like the only day that Texas A&M and Alabama fans will be together.
Oh yeah, you guys are in harmony. Here's my thoughts on the game before you go. This since 2011, this is, I believe, the first road game, non-conference for Bama. which is interesting. And JR and I discussed it because you guys don't really have to travel because they have such a tough in-conference schedule, right? Road games are scary, though, because, speaking of the Aggies, all these teams have a puncher's chance when you're on the road, right? I mean, is A&M a better team than Bama when they beat them? No, they weren't. Things didn't go their way that day. They lost, what was it last year? They lost at home on a small kick. Any worry at all, right? I'm not throwing you under the bus and telling you to say anything about that. Any worry at all that this game could be a little closer than most people think?
I wouldn't say it's like worry. I don't want anybody thinking that Alabama doesn't respect Texas, because you have to respect Texas, right? Because they have earned their respect for the history of their football and what when you say the University of Texas, right? The great Vince Young, the great the running backs and stuff that they had in the past. We respect them. I know they're gonna respect Texas, and they're gonna go in and understand that everybody's coming in to beat Alabama because we always have a target on our back.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Texas is this is a good game for Texas, right? Nationally, it will be very good for them if they come in and only get beat by a couple touchdowns. I'm not saying that's my prediction. I'm just saying Texas is not the Texas that we've known. Everybody there is different. There's a new quarterback.
It's been a long time.
Bijan. There's two Heisman contenders in this game. Each team's got one. Bijan looks good, man. He's fast. He was injured at the end of last year in those last 3 games. I think if something were to happen and this game gets fairly close, Blake, is that I think for Texas, it would all run through Bijan. This is a really big game for Quinn to come in and probably throw for 300. Probably not going to happen, but it's feasible that Bijan could rattle off a 100-yard game. And against Bama, if you get a 100-yard game, it's something. And he may end up with 20.
Right.
Who knows? I'm just saying I think he's the X factor.
Yeah, and Blake, I'm sure you did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. With Sarkisian being with Saban, I think he kind of got a mindset, just like when Kirby played Saban, he kind of got a mindset, how that kind of mindset Saban's coming in the game of how to defend the defense and how to take your key players out. Texas has a great wide receiver core. That'll be a great test for us, too, to see where our DBs hold at, because we have a young team, man. We have a young DB core, and but we feel real good about it. I think me, myself, and my fellow teammates feel good about it. But hey, one thing about it, you could play all day, but one thing about Alabama, we're gonna hit you in your mouth, and we're gonna see how many hits you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that trench play is going to be huge tomorrow, because it is a Big 12 versus SEC. Obviously, Texas is going to be in the SEC sooner than not, but they are the better Big 12 sized offensive linemen. But SEC line play, man, is just different, and you know that well to be different. Obviously, dogs. They're just built differently, truly, like size wise and everything. You're wondering, where are they pulling them out of? And you're like, oh, the South. That makes a lot of sense. So
we had a few people just jump on the line. I wanted to, but this is Blake Sims. If you're just jumping on, we don't have a logo down there with his name. There's 4 or 5 people that have jumped on. Former Bama quarterback. Thanks, man, so much for being on. We want to keep you on just for a couple more minutes if we can, and to follow up the Aggie fan stump. After you made the comment, came back and said Roll Tide.
Hey, I'm not even, and Blake knows this. I've never been one to be, I always mess with him because Blake, Blake Roll Tide through and through, always will be, alma mater, love it, you gotta be. And what a great program to be a part of. Me personally, I used to give Blake so much shit all the time because I would just love messing with him. If I had God forbid, I'd have an Auburn friend or whatever in there, I would always deliberately try and instigate them into a conversation, which, Blake, you're a huge personality guy, man. I truly believe you've already been in a movie before, with Disney, that type of thing is the tip of the iceberg, I think, for you, man. You definitely ought to be, in front of a camera more and talk with people more, because you got it, bro. It's, it's hilarious, bro. You light up a room.
Blake, I've got another question for you. That's a good comment, man. You're right. You're good on camera. Do you know Gerard Hurd?
Yes, I do.
I do. Let me see if this is a fair characterization. I think of Gerard, coming in and at a certain position, being recruited, and then going wherever the team needed him to go to win. I call him a Swiss Army knife. You had the inverse of that, right? You played something other than quarterback and then went to QB. You still hold the single game passing record?
I did until last year. Bryce Young broke it. So,
man,
he gets a text. He gets a text after that, right? Hey, man, congrats, or what you doing?
It was congrats, like for sure, congrats, man. And records are meant to be broken. I'm just glad to be a part of the history and do what I was able to do and be blessed to do things that a lot of people is not capable of do.
Yeah, and back on the Texas thing, I forgot about something in this morning when I was making production notes. Texas was 100th ranked nationally. One of their sworn enemies was TCU. Don't you find it a little curious that Gary Patterson now lives in Austin and is a special assistant or special consultant for the Horns? He's known as a defensive guy.
Oh, man.
They want to win. I mean, Texas wants that defense to be good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. I've been in instances where when we played we played Wisconsin, we had a guy go balled off. They went out over to him. They said, "Hey, man, transfer, get your papers ready, transfer." They brought him immediately just after play. That shit happens with coaches. It happens with players. If somebody game plans you good enough, it's either, damn, that guy pisses me off, or we need to get this guy on our staff right now because he just exposed us on television.
Yeah, I get it. But seeing a head coach who was unceremoniously ran out of Fort Worth, which I'm not a TCU fan. I don't agree with the way they treated him. But to see him come in true enemy territory and form an alliance with Texas, I just feel maybe that there's something, not against Bama necessarily, but I feel like they won't be 100th in defense this year. That's for sure. They'll cut that in half easy.
Yeah. I mean, they better.
You gotta make moves to, when you got goals and you want to get to a certain place, man. You gotta make moves and you gotta make cuts. I mean, it's not cut. It's very cutthroat. It is cutthroat. It ain't nobody's doing it just to make you mad or make you upset. It's just what you got to do. You brought it in to win games, and you got to win games.
Business is business, right? And that's what college football, it didn't just become business overnight. It's been a business. I'm almost 50. It's really been a business since I was a kid, right? So it's not,
no, for sure.
It's more known now, right? And the NIL deals, I ask every ex-college player this: how much do you wish they were giving out NIL deals 10 years ago?
I'll spend all my savings to make a top just so I can get paid.
I mean, some guys are getting paid. Quinn got $1.5 million,
right,
and didn't even end up playing for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me how many NIL deals that Bryce Young got, and I'm like, I just start like looking up and just daydreaming, like, man, I'm just thinking about how much money, like, because like if you really sit back, like, how is it to like walk around campus, get prepared for a game, knowing that you have this much money? Like, that's why you have to that's what make an athlete that much better, man. Because like when they getting paid like this at college, you're willing to still go out and perform. That shows the love of the game that you have.
You're a two-time national champion. Not everybody's meant to go to the NFL. Gerard Hurd and I discussed that. Guys need to be paid in college. Absolutely. When these schools are making, astronomical. That's a whole different live show. We've talked about it. But yeah, you definitely are a guy who would have gotten major NIL deals. I think they should be able to fans should be able to go in and donate money to all the players they want to now. And maybe you couldn't get it out until, let's say, you're 21 or you graduated or whatever. But there's a way to help these guys. And there's some guys, you played D1 college football. You played with some guys, so did Blake, that never were going to go to the NFL, who were walking around limping right now because of something happened in college, maybe in it for Bama or whatever. So, yeah, that's a whole different live, but I always like to gauge people. And Gerard, everybody always laughs and says, oh, yeah, these guys are getting paid. A final thought on that. The final thought on the NIL deal. We tried to give Quinn an NIL deal. kind of tongue in cheek, Texas has a clearinghouse. You go on and you fill out the paperwork, right, or the online paperwork.
Open doors.
So we wanted Quinn to come on every Monday. Excuse me, after college football Saturday, 10 minutes. Come on, talk about the game, talk about what's the game that's coming up. And we're a startup, self-funded. I offered $500 a week.
Yeah,
500, and you got to pay this up front, right? And then they refund it. He denied it.
Yeah,
500 appearance didn't work, and so I'm going to go back and up it. But most guys that are out there would take.
Oh yeah.
But most guys aren't Quinn, and the media wants to know. He and Bryce are the two superstars in this game. I would say Bijan probably too, but it's a Bryce. People care about what Bryce and Quinn do, and they don't even play against each other.
Yeah, I mean Quinn's already driving an Aston Martin, man. So
Bijan, I believe, Blake. I don't know if you saw it. Mainly more local news. Bijan's driving a Lambo from a local dealership here in town.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guys are getting paid, man. I'm waiting for that NCAA check. I'm waiting for that NCAA compensation check coming down the road in like 10 years to all the alumni who didn't go get paid during the NIL. I mean, do you remember when the NCAA sent out checks to everybody for like $100 or something for NCAA for the back in the day, the NCAA football when they came in and sent a bunch of like student athletes just. Basically, it was a massive kind of check where they were like, okay, cool, a couple like $10 million or whatever it was, split it up, divvied it up between all the college football athletes, and would send just this little minute check. Where's my check, man? Where's Blake Sims' check, man? Where is that? I'm waiting for that.
Man, like the game check.
I could have had a Volkswagen Honolulu deal.
I mean, trust me, man. I wish I could have. I think about it all the time how like good and the things I could have taken care of, but like the sweat, blood, and the things that we put in, man, we put it in for the next generation to be taken care of and not go through things that we went through. So at times, I bite my lip and I'm mad that I ain't getting that money. But hey, God put me here for a reason, and sometimes we just gotta take it how it is.
And like you said, you paved the way for those guys right now to go out there and get that bread, whether, however much you think so or not. Guys like you, the exact reason, the guys are getting paid today because people tuned in and watched.
Yeah.
Well, if Bryce doesn't have his address, his mailing address, we need to make sure he has it because he needs to send a Christmas present, right? If you're paving the way, you need a big Christmas present.
I love it.
Ford F-150.
I mean, if anything, he could have let my record stay. That would have been the best.
Yeah, could have kneeled it out last
play. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you think Saban pulled him off to the side, like, hey man, like, hey, we still got 6 in mind, man. Like, keep it down over there.
But I just thought of a segment that we need to do.
Huh?
I just thought of a segment we need to do with Blake.
What's that?
We need to have him come on every week and bring Bryce on or someone of that ilk, right? From Bama, like the Bama Minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, shoot, Blake, if you get some time and you ever, you still talking to those boys from time to time, you let the Sports Report know. We would love to get those guys on. But just to have you on, man, is huge. And I'm sure Alabama fans are going to be tuning in. And man, people just love seeing you. People just love seeing you on there, man. Like what a face, man. You don't forget Blake Sims, ever.
I appreciate you, baby.
Blake, will you be in Austin this weekend?
Oh, no, I will not be in, but I'll be in Georgia. I have my little girl this weekend, so I'll be being a father and spending time with her.
Right out of high school, I went into the Army, and I ended up Fort Benning, Georgia, baby. What city in Georgia are you at?
I live in Alpharetta, but I went to high school in Gainesville.
I was in Columbus, which is this Fort Benning. Yeah. It's a sister city to Columbus. I love that part of the country. Alabama state line's 10 minutes away, right?
Yeah. You got we got the state line.
Phoenix City.
Yeah, you got Auburn. From where Reuben Foster played at. Then you have LaGrange beside it too. You got a lot of good towns right there, man. So, good cooking, a lot of good restaurants out there in Columbus. Brian Vogler, he lives out there now. and he has a good job with his family and stuff like that. And Columbus is a good city.
Well, it's funny because when I started, I dated a girl. This was 1993, 4. I dated an Auburn girl. Numerous Auburn girls were dating Army guys. I think they wanted to slum it for a while before they went on and married whoever they rich Auburn kid they had. I
Right.
didn't realize until 1994. I didn't realize how intense. Because when you grow up here, right, it's Texas, Texas A&M, Texas and OU. The
Hmm.
Auburn Bama rivalry is one of the best in the country, no doubt.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
know that, but I think it's not talked about enough. Like they were fighting in the streets, man. Fist
yeah.
fight.
No, sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, sure, man. Like the kick six, like me and Jr. During the season, we should just talk about big games. And the kick six, man, I always go back to it, like how hard it was for us to like leave the stadium after the play done happened. You know what I'm saying? And like for like Coach Saban, like for them to like get Coach Saban out of there and put us back in the locker room, that could right there should tell you like how massive it was and how exciting Auburn was. And it just that right there speaks like it wasn't like if Auburn beat us, they was going to the national championship or they was going to the SEC championship. It was just that like they beat us and they was just only that happy because they knew they messed our season up. And so like that started being a thing that people would be like, come on, Auburn, mess Alabama season up, and then, like it started making us worry like, all right, guys, we gotta play a full season because Auburn, it don't matter if they're going to the national championship, if they're going, they might be going to the Orange Bowl. But if they beat Alabama and mess their season up, it's the best. They won in that they won in that championship. So like it just
Heck yeah.
it's been no go ahead.
Most of you guys grew up together, played around each other.
Mhm.
It's what you have a favorite memory from your Iron Balls you played in?
My favorite memory, man, is my game. Is my game. We was down. I had threw 3 interceptions in the first half, and came out in the second half and threw I think it was like 4 or 5 touchdowns to Amari Cooper, and then I ended up rushing for the winning touchdown, and just what we went through that game and just overcoming adversity and when everybody's against you and taking time to just believe in yourself and knowing what you can do, and understanding that you can do it even when everybody's down, and that was a moment of being a leader when everybody looks you in your eyes, like the movie like The Program, Any Given Sundays, like the moments when the quarterback walked in the huddle and everybody's looking you in your eyes and you just have that confidence that you want the ball. I think that excites me, and that's what I love about the game of football.
Man, I loved as a non collegiate football. I didn't play college football. I'm not very athletic, but to hear these stories, man, so cool. Amari Cooper, I hated that he left my Cowboys. How often do you
Yeah,
still
man.
talk to Amari?
I still talk to Mario very often. All my guys, I just let them while they're in training camp or while they're in the season. You gotta let them focus and because you understand what they go through and how much time they put into one game and I think even for the 16 games. So anytime all season, man, he comes to Atlanta or he's anywhere close, I try to see him, and he's a great guy, man. I'm very happy with the career he's having right now.
He will be missed in Dallas for sure. I was a big fan of his. We'll see what CD can do, but I think Amari is a quality dude, and he'll do well. He's just got that talent level.
No, he
Hey,
does,
Six.
man.
Six. Who was your favorite offensive lineman to play with at Alabama? Or if you just, or you don't have to say favorite overall, but one of your favorites that sticks out to you character-wise.
Left tackle, maybe.
Man. A lot of people remember it's two of them, man. Leon Brown and DJ Fluker.
Okay, I know
DJ
Fluker.
Fluke. Yeah, Fluke, man. He was I remember my freshman year, like coming you at like I wasn't very big coming out of high school, but high school, you got some big kids, but you don't really understand what big is until you go to college. So Fluke was my first like my like first whoa when I seen a big kid, like a kid that was a 20 size shoe, 6'7",
Ah.
just massive, you know what I'm
Stumps.
saying?
We're freezing up.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
we're freezing up. Yeah, I can hear you
Oh, you
now.
good?
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, DJ, man, he wears a 20 size shoe. 6'7", man. He's blocking for me. So I'm smiling, you know what I'm saying? So like that was like this is energy and what he brought to workouts and stuff like 6 o'clock in the morning. Who wants to get up at 5 o'clock to make it a workouts at 6 o'clock and give it 100%, right? But he was that guy that gave us energy. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you couldn't understand what he was saying, but it was just his energy and how he got everybody ready to go.
A size 20.
Yeah, well, that's why he's a
yeah.
first round draft pick.
If that guy says I'm going to put my foot up your ass, that's something you better take serious.
Oh yeah,
No, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. When he speaks, you hear.
yeah. When you were, you've touched on this a couple times with me, but like you're such an outgoing guy, and I know that Saban is much more reserved. When you two got into like when you guys would just talk, daily chemistry, what was that like? Did you have to like kind of settle down and be in the more suit and tie state, or did he just let you be six? Like what was that dynamic?
Coach Saban always wants you to be yourself, but like with Coach Saban, it's like when it's one-on-one conversation with Coach Saban, you really have to like be quick because his mind and like we said earlier, his mind is always like ahead of itself. Like right now, like he's having conferences and media about Texas, but right now, like it's not. I don't mean it by a bad thing or he's looking below anybody else. It's just that he's always trying to be prepared. He's never want to go into a game not be prepared, not understanding what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. So like having a conversation with Coach Saban, like you have to come with some type of meaning. He don't have time just to talk about where you lost your shoes or where you can't find things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, do you have any more?
Well, speaking of Saban, he's such an enigma to those that don't know him, right? We're just so curious what kind of guy he is. He's 70, right? Let's look. He's 70.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for an official quote. How many more years does he coach, Blake?
He just signed that new deal to through 30, man. I say Coach Saban, he'll continue to go on. He loves to say he's the best DB that ever came through Alabama. But he's the only one that says that has never played for Alabama. But he said he's the best DB to ever come through Alabama, and he's gonna be around a lot, man. Even if he does retire, he'll probably still have some type of hand and feet in football, And he loves the game,
No doubt.
man. And he loves the game, but more he loves the kids. He does it for the kids.
Yeah, I can see him having a like a direct line like they have to the president on the sidelines to the coach.
Yeah.
He'll call in, pass right
Yeah.
sometime during the game. But I give it, if they win a national title this year, I say the over under on how many years he has left is 3 as a head coach, and I think he'll be back. 70 is not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah,
No,
but it could be one of those Schneider situations too, where
Could
it's
be.
just like, hey, like you can keep doing this until you say so. It's just, and which is probably what it's going to be regardless. I mean, it's Saban.
When I went down there to Tuscaloosa, I want to say it was like a year or two ago, and Coach Saban had just had surgery on his hip, and he was like, I had talked to him, I was like, dang, old man, you can't play DB no more. You ain't got no hips. He was like, man, I don't want to hear that. Man. He was like, I had got out of surgery 3 weeks, and I'm not even walking with no cane. He was like, I'm more tougher than you.
That's awesome.
Be denied, man.
That's awesome.
He's not going to be. I mean, he's a busybody. That's why everywhere he's been, he wins, right? He's a busybody. I mean, if moss is growing on you, you're not going to be successful in any facet of life. And, man, that guy at 70, there's people that are 30 that couldn't hang with him, just energetically, I'm assuming, right, Blake? I mean, he's just nonstop motor.
Right.
So what's on the docket? Oh, sorry. You're good. What's going on?
You good.
Oh yeah, so I was just gonna say, so what's on the docket for you, man? You said that you were you're giving back to the kids, man. What type of coaching are you in right now? Like what's in the on the pipeline for Blake Sims?
Yeah, man. Right now, I'm in Marietta, Georgia, at Mount Bethel Christian Academy. I'm
Oh,
over there. I received the coaching job. I'm the offensive coordinator, and it's a first year program, first contact football year program that we just brought this year, and we're gonna have our high school, gonna have our first JV team, and then we'll have a varsity team. For the near future, we'll have a varsity team from there. And I'm looking just to move up with them guys, man. And it's a new start, and I'm enjoying it, man. I'm just happy to be over there. They welcome me with open arms, and they just showing nothing but love, man. And right now, retirement is good.
I feel it, man. Well, I respect it, bro. I absolutely do. I think you have so much knowledge to give to the game, and also, man, just being able to relate to players, man, especially those kids. Like, I don't doubt they'll end up all being a bunch of ballers themselves. So that's
No,
great,
most
brother.
definitely, man. I really look like what made me really feel good about it is just like as a player, you really don't understand. Like it's kind of like when you're a kid. You don't really understand what your parents go through. You know, so like just being a coach and just understanding like, dang, I never knew that my high school coaches had to paint the line sometimes, or high school coaches had to do more than just coach. You have to have a relationship with these kids and understand what they're going through.
That's a great point. Yeah.
That's a blessing for those kids, right? You're a quality guy. Everybody knows you are. That's familiar with you in the Bama program. We're ecstatic you came on. I think we're starting to have some more internet difficulties. Man, you're a workhorse. You've been pumping with us for what, almost a few minutes. And
Oh yeah,
JR was telling me before. He said, "Man, you're gonna love Blake. He's the greatest. He's one of my favorite people." And so we're so glad that you came on. And JR, you got anything else you want to cut him loose? This internet's getting wonky on us.
Yeah, no, man, Blake, I just really appreciate your time, brother. I know that Alabama. If I have anything to talk about Alabama football, the first person I'm talking to is Blake Sims. So I really, really am glad that you got to hop on and kind of see what the sports report's about. It's guys like you that help make this show. We keep it moving. Keep it moving. We've been able to get some great guys on here, and you are one of the great guys. And man, I look forward to seeing what the future holds for Blake Sims. You got a lot more to offer to the game, more than just playing. So I can't wait to see all the great things that you accomplish, brother.
man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate y'all letting me be on the show. Every time you're on the show, you feel like you're a part of the family. So I appreciate y'all so much.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to have you back. And if it makes you feel better, we're a startup show. We're new, JR. I found JR on Instagram, and a week later
Yeah,
he's working in the studio.
I love
Also
it.
a quality dude.
Yeah, man. JR is great. He's
We
a
had
leader,
DeMarcus
man.
Ware on.
Oh, yeah,
You
DeMarcus
and you
Ware.
and DeMarcus Ware up there.
No, that's good people, man. That's good. That's good.
Well, I think that's it. We're gonna cut you loose. I'm sure
Okay.
we'll be texting during the game, and you can
Sounds
go ahead
good.
and get your roll tide out of the way now if you want to in closing.
Oh yeah, roll tide, roll.
Roll Tide, Blake
I
Sims.
knew he
Roll
needed to
Tide,
get that out of his
Six.
system.
All right, baby.
That's
See y'all
amazing.
later.
Thank you, man.
See you.
Awesome.
Well, I think what we'll do is let's take a couple-minute break.
roll
We've
that
got some
promo
Texas
video.
fans in here that want to come on and talk.
Cool. Yeah, let's roll that promo video we got for the game too while we're on break, and then we'll get that going. What's going on?
On 12th Street, who graciously agreed to let us come in here. We're neophytes. We're a startup. I saw a guy walking by. He was taking a curious look over, had kind of a smirk on his face, like, hey, what are these dumbasses doing over here? So we're going to put him on and make him a fellow dumbass. He is a former UT student. What'd you graduate? 2017?
2017. Yep.
Here,
Tell everybody your name.
Let's get him closer into the camera shot if we possibly can.
This is the great thing. This is the great thing about going live and having no one watching you right now. You can do this. So tell them your name, your background here.
Yeah. Name's Lane Womack. My grandpa, Hall of Honor, Hall of Fame at UT. So born and raised. I haven't missed a home game since I was 2 years old. So absolutely bled, burnt orange. Yeah. Graduated in 17 from McCombs and been in Austin ever since.
Business school grad and told me you're a videographer. I think we just hired you a second ago off screen. Give me your, we won't keep you long because we're going to get off.
Yeah.
You buddies are waiting on you over there. Give me your prediction. Give me the one you told me and then give me a serious one.
All right. So 52-0, Texas.
Oh, man. 52-0?
Actual prediction, though, all right, it's 2010. I'm going to throw a hot take at you. Colt McCoy doesn't get hurt. We win the national championship. Nick Saban is just so jealous that he transfers over to UT, right? And then we win 6 out of the next 8, just like that.
Oh,
How
man.
about that?
Oh, man.
No, but actual prediction for the game, I think it could go 2 ways, okay? It's either going to be 14-14 at half, a nice defensive stretch. We both scored, both got some good, nice interceptions here and there, or it's going to be like 21-0 Alabama.
So you're a big Quinn Ewers fan. You think this guy's going to just go over here and steamroll an Alabama team? Or,
I think anybody that can throw an interception and then come back and win 52-10 is a player in my book. But
Louisiana Monroe?
Yeah, he's definitely got some rust to shake off, and we'll see how it plays out tomorrow.
Sure, it's still week 2. Still week 2, but that's good that you have,
I think one stat, that's a good hot take. It's interesting. ESPN may hire you on that solely.
Yeah.
But here's a stat I heard today I hadn't thought about. This is Alabama's first road non-conference game since 2011. I'm a Texas fan. I grew up in East Texas. I've always been a Texas fan. I went to Troy State.
Yeah.
I think we have a puncher's chance because you can't say Texas is like the same Texas. We got Gary Patterson affiliated with the team. And I bet you, and we talked about it a minute ago, I bet you we won't be ranked 100th in defense this season.
No way. No. But I think, them coming into our house, we got a lot of home fans. We got a lot of loud, energetic people at 11 a.m. We're going to be there at 7 a.m. And I think we got a real shot of actually beating Alabama tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I mean, I love.
JR is
I love
not
to
going
hear
to agree.
Yeah, I love to hear the confidence. I really do. I give Texas the respect based off of the history of their program.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what they've done in the past decade because a lot of coaching changes, a lot of moving parts. Failure to reach expectation because you have to have expectation when you're talking about Texas football.
Yeah.
And obviously, in the state of Texas, Texas hasn't even been in conversation to teams like Baylor or A&M in the past several years. So to say that they're going to go out here and win this game is even though
bold.
Just to say win the game, it's still very bold take.
bold.
I'm not going to just say, they're going to lay out and, lay down for an Alabama team. And I'm sure College Game Day will provide a great atmosphere, especially for Texas fans.
Yeah.
In that environment, it's going to be completely different than that home field advantage that the Alabama had last week.
Yeah.
But at the same time, different level of talent here, I think, on the trenches line. We do have good receivers over there at Texas, so I want to see some production offensively. But they have to stand a chance against that Alabama defense. And that's going to be a huge test for the Longhorns in this upcoming game.
I think, real quick is realistically, like if you're not a Texas fan and you're not at all born and raised in Austin, you don't have all that bias energy coming in with your prediction. Yes, I think Alabama's got a good shot at giving us a spanking and going home, just happy campers. But I think, like you said, we haven't even competed with OU, haven't competed with Bama. We've lost to OSU in the past. We've lost to teams like Maryland. We've lost to a lot of teams that come into our house. So
like Kansas.
It's not a great prediction to say that we're going to beat Bama, but
you're a fan.
As a UT fan, I know that we're going to beat them.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. You have to have that. Like it's people like you that keep people in talks. Like
Absolutely.
These conversations. Usually an Alabama-Texas football game, no one would give a shit about it because at first you're thinking Alabama. Okay, cool, awesome. But it's because of people like you that we're even having this discussion,
Never in the history of college football would people not care about Texas, Alabama, even since they wore leather helmets.
Yeah, but
don't agree with that statement at all.
Relevancy, though, in talking about competition.
It would always be a big topic. It would be the biggest game of the week anytime. So I think that I agree with a lot of what he said. I'm a Texas fan, right? We've suffered. But there are teams that talk more shit and more fan base talk more shit. They forget what Texas did when Mac was here, and they had that long stretch. Yeah. And so I hear that from A&M fans, and my daughter goes to A&M. But I think Texas has a puncher's chance with all the pieces they put in place. JR's right. I mean, what have you done for me lately? Exactly. Two questions for you, and we'll end it. My X factor in this game is Bijan. Clearly, he gets 100 yards. We probably win. This time Bama's given up a 100-yard rusher, but it's not a lot under Saban. I don't know the exact match stats, and how does Texas come out of this game smelling like roses, even if they lose? Does a close game, does that mean Texas is back? And on the flip side of that, what happens if we get blown out? So who's the X factor, and how does Texas come out of this game in a positive fashion if they lose?
X factor, I agree with you, Bijan, because if we can actually run the ball and we can get up, 10 to 15 yards on a carry for Bijan like he can do, we really will have a good shot. Second thing is, if we get blown out, this is absolutely nothing for Bama. They're just going to move forward, and we're going to have another heartbreak season. But if we can pull up a fight like we did with LSU when LSU won, that gives us a chance in the running later on. And if we can beat OU and we can get a nice season under our belt with our only loss being a hard-fought loss with Bama, I think we have a pretty good season.
Yeah, and I think it's good that I say we as Texas, as a Texas fan, that 12 playoff thing, it bodes well for us as we enter the SEC in a couple years. There's going to be several teams. That term puncher's chance a lot. Texas is a blue chip program, hasn't been lately. It's going to be very interesting. Man, you're the super cool dude. Like, saw him walk by, went over there, and he's like, hell yeah, I'll jump on.
Hell yeah. Like I said, though, 52-0.
Oh, man. I just can't wait to thumbnail that later just so that I can make a TikTok out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, that's what we do.
Tyler, do this. I'm going to give the camera back to Lane, go directly on him, and I want to have him say, because we're going to carve it up for TikTok, Texas beats Bama 52-0, and then we'll send him. His buddies are waiting on it.
No, you're good. All right. Bold prediction.
Put it directly on him, Tyler.
Yeah, bold prediction. 52-0. Texas.
Alabama loses to Texas by 52 points and doesn't score.
0 points.
I love it. You heard it from a Texas fan.
We're live in Austin, obviously, where the drinks have been flowing evidently for several hours.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, before you leave, call yourself on my phone so I have your number.
That's hilarious. That's awesome, man.
All right,
Only awesome.
JR,
He's got a work call too. That's why we're leaving.
I think we're going to shut it down for today. All these guys, off your buddies, off. They think you're great, man, and you gave some good insight.
No, yeah. Lastly, though, we've had about 10 years of heartbreak. It has been rough, but Texas is back.
Texas is back, he said.
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'll text you.
I don't know him.
Tyler, you're doing a real good job. Really
hear
good
it.
job on the production we got going. We've been here now.
4
how long?
hours.
We've been here for 4 hours. We've only been live for an hour due to technical difficulties. Unless you have anything to say, I don't even have. We can't even really talk about the NFL game tonight. I think it's time to shut her down and get back to the hotel. We'll be probably on live. We're going to be in the stadium tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the game, and they're going to be doing some man on the street content tonight down on 6th Street. God bless you. My wife, Tara's coming into town from East Texas. Yesterday was our anniversary. I wasn't here, so we're going to go to dinner tonight, and I'm going to take her to the game tomorrow, and probably the Cowboys game on Sunday, and then I'm good. She doesn't need a lot. She's low maintenance, so one really good weekend to take her to 2 or 3 events that she cares nothing about. I'll be good for the year. So I'll see you when you get here. Anything? Final thought from you?
Man, this is going to be a fun one. I actually have never been over at UT Stadium, been inside of it before.
About to pop your cherry tomorrow.
Man, super, super excited. Going to be a lot of burnt orange. I don't know. I have no way to feel about it. It is what it is. But very excited for the atmosphere, man. Happy to be here.
Cool. I'm excited for you. And let's work on a segment while you're watching the game. Let's talk about who ends up being the top 2 or 3 offensive linemen, which is what you are, what you care about.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about them on Monday. I want to basically say we're signing off on behalf of myself and JR and Tyler, my son, doing the production over here. He's an amazing producer who we both were pissed at and were moaning at earlier. He dealt with it fine, or maybe it was all me. But anyway, here we go. And,
Thank you, Tyler, man. We really appreciate
rock, Tyler.
you, brother.
We're out. See you. All right, let's do this fast.
Still on the line.